Today this discussion is about psychoanalytic criticism, and whereas psychoanalysis is concerned, it is mostly discovered with reference to Freud, and this psychoanalysis is actually a theory of personality, that how a personality develops with the passage of time, what are the traits which are seen, and what are the problems which are responsible for those things. So this psychoanalytic theory, this is a theory of psychological therapy. Therapy means that it is something related to a clinical system, that we are going to cure something. What is to cure? To cure the problems faced by mind by concentrating upon the interactions and connections between conscious and unconscious mind. So basically psychoanalysis is a psychological therapy that treats the problems faced by the mind, and in it there is they try to know the connection between between conscious and unconscious mind. And when this is the definition of psychoanalysis, when it is applied on literature, this is called psychoanalytic criticism. Now the most important thing here in this definition is that conscious, relationship between conscious and unconscious mind. Conscious means that everything we are aware of, that is conscious. We are all the time aware of the points, the things, the ideas which are passing through our mind. Every time we are aware of them, we know them, we are conscious about them, that is called conscious. Then whereas unconscious is concerned, unconscious is very much important with reference to Freud and with reference to psychoanalytic criticism. And Freud was not the person who introduced this term unconsciousness, rather he gave very much importance to this. He says that our conscious mind is perhaps 10% of our personality, and 90% is our unconscious mind. So what is in unconscious? There are memories, there are beliefs, there are urges, there are drives, there are instincts, and most of the time we are unaware of them. They are there. So these two parts, and they are further divided into ego and superego. Those concepts will be discussed later on. Then the third and the most important concept is of libido. Whenever there is a discussion about psychoanalysis, or any person is talking about psychoanalysis, they mostly say that this theory with reference to Freud, it is related with sex. Means sex is the central urge. Sex is a thing that is of pivotal role with reference to psychoanalysis, and that's why it's called psychosexuality, because psychosexuality is very important, because it has different stages which help in molding the personality of a person. That's why it's said that sex is the basic instinct that is part of psychoanalysis. And then there is libido. Libido is also a part of psychosexuality. Libido is a major concept of Freud. Libido means this is a force, this is a treasure, this is a house of energy. It is powerhouse. It provides energy to the body. And there are still two concepts, eros and thanatos, which are related with reference to libido. Eros means it gives strength to life. We are to live life, so it gives strength. This is energy, type of energy. Rather it is psychosexual energy, but it is energy. And thanatos means that to move towards, we have to move towards death. So we have to pass different stages. That's why psychosexuality is very much important. And libido is also important because it is a major energy providing source, and it provides energy to the mind. When it provides energy to the minds, it means that whole personality is going to be developed. And this libido is related to sex. When it's related to sex, it means that this is the power that is responsible for the development of our personality. So now it's linked with psychosexuality, and this psychosexuality has different stages. And these stages will tell us that a type of personality which we are observing, which we are facing, what are the problems with his personality or her personality that he or she is going to behave like that way. So the very first stage is in psychosexuality is the oral stage. Oral means that it's related with pleasure, and the thing that is concentrated upon, that is mouth. Means it is something eating. That's real principle, but it is related with eating. Now, different types of, in these stages, sometimes child have to face fixations at oral stage. Now, whereas oral stage is concerned, there can be fixation over here, because in some cases, some babies, they are given a training for oral stage. They are beautifully trained, and there are still certain babies who are neglected. So that's called fixation. When overstimulated means that when a baby is given very much care with reference to this player which is concentrating upon mouth. What is the problem with that? That he is overstimulated, and the result will be that when he is a grown-up person, his personality will be depending upon cigarettes and alcohol, and also he becomes possessive. He becomes possessive of things. He tries to tell his personality that I am possessive of different type of thing. So this is a thing when this oral stage is overstimulated. And if a baby is understimulated, then what happens? He becomes sarcastic. He becomes, we can say that he becomes argumentative, because he is underestimated, means that he is not given a proper training at oral stage. That's why there is a fixation. And if it is understimulated, mean he becomes a sarcastic and argumentative. Then after oral stage, the next stage is, that's called anal stage. Anal stage means that the focus is upon bowel movement, and there is also a fixation at this problem. In certain families, certain places, in certain cultures, babies are given a very good training. There is usually emphasis on training, and what type of training? Potty training. And then there are certain parents who don't care about these things. So there is also a fixation. Suppose overemphasis on potty training. There is a baby in whose life there was overemphasis on potty training. What will be the result when he is an adult? Retentive memory, obstinate, stingy, that personality will be seen. It means that overemphasis on potty training, he was a victim of this thing. Then if there is something like negligence about potty training, the result will be a person who is with a bad temper. Cruelty will be the part of his personality. Then messy disorderliness, these are all the part of that personality. Then the third stage is phallic stage, and it is related with sex organs, genitals, male, female, and at this stage there can also be a fixation. And if there is fixation, then there are two types of problem: Oedipus complex and Electra complex. Oedipus complex means that a male boy, when a male boy is of the view that I must replace my father and must have control and love with my mother. And then in Electra complex, a female is of the view that I must replace this mother, and I must have certain type of connection, certain type of love, certain type of attachment with my father. So these are the two types of things which are called complexes: Oedipus complex and Electra complex. Whereas these two complexes are concerned, they are not negative complexes, but actually they are something about beautiful feelings. Beautiful feeling means that the feeling which a baby, which a female is having about her father, and a boy is having about with his mother. So these are two. And if there is any type of fixation, then what will be the result? The personality will be reckless. It will be proud, vain, and these people are afraid of close relationships, and this is perhaps a root of homosexuality, and those who are involved in homosexuality, perhaps they are a victim of this stage. Then there is a latency stage, and there is no fixation, energy focused on peer activities, and then personal mastery of learning and physical skills. This is latency stage, that person starts thinking about peer activities, personal mastery of learning and physical skills. So there is no fixation. It means the body is moving ahead and ahead. And then the last stage is called genital stage. So genital stage means that interest in opposite sex. Here the mind is usually obsessed with sex and sexual desires and sexual thoughts and everything that's related with sex. So genital stage, it concentrates upon the sexual instincts of children. So here they are always in a pursuit of personal identities. Then there is a development of caring attitude. Personal identities at this stage, the person comes to know that no, I am to do something, I am something, I have a personality. So there must be, he or she is involved in search of personal identities. In order to evolve as a person who has his own or her own personal identity, then his attitude towards his others is always caring, loving, comforting, soothing, and every type of beautiful behavior. Then loving and sexual relationships, loving and sexual relationships mean that he is mostly involved in sexual relationships, and love is also there. And then career building, at this stage there is career building. Then there is fixation. Fixation means that there is frigidity. Frigidity means that impotence and unsatisfactory relationships. Genital stage, if there is fixation, if their baby is or a person is going to suppress the feelings of love and sex, the result will be that there will be personality will be frigid. Frigid means that impotency with reference to sex and personality, and also unsatisfactory relations will be developed. So these are the stages which are called psychosexual stages, because libido is the force that is major force in that provides energy to the mind, and psychosexual stages mean that these are the stages which are helping in the development of a personality. And when we come to know any person, and when we go through any piece of literature, and we come to know that this person is having these good traits, this person is having these bad traits, so at the same time we can come to know that perhaps this person has some disturbance at he can have at oral stage, at anal stage, phallic stage, latency stage, or genital stage. It means that that character that is part of a drama, novel, or short story, that is having or that have faced the problem of fixation at any stage. And then we can understand that this is the psychological issue or psychoanalytic problem which is faced by this character. So in this way, this is also a process. These are the things which we will have to observe in a piece of literature, and then we can know that we are going to have something that's called psychoanalytic criticism.